let's talk about not feeling well. This is something completely normal. We all experience this as human beings, and it could be anything from catching a virus and actually having an illness, or just not feeling well. Maybe there's just something off in your body and you're just not feeling that great. We've all been there, and I know when I'm in that state that there are things that I do, there are tips and there are strategies that I use so I can start feeling better sooner. So I wanted to share those with you today for the next time that you're feeling unwell and you want to know how you can navigate out of that quicker. So let's dive into it. Hello, and welcome to the Living My 2.0 YouTube channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Julia, and I am a mindset and anxiety coach. So today's video was inspired by the last week in my life, where I recently went through a period of about 3 or 4 days where I just didn't feel well. My body didn't feel well, I wasn't feeling good, and whenever I don't feel good, that also kind of affects my mindset as well. So I thought that it'd be a really helpful thing to talk about what I do when I don't feel well and when I'm having a bad day, and the little tips and tricks I use to navigate out of that negative state and to start feeling better so I can get back to being the version of me that I love to be, which is happy and positive and feeling good and healthy. So I hope these tips will be helpful for you, and make sure that you stay till the end of the video so that you get all of the good tips and knowledge that I share. Before we get into today's video, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Every subscriber is so helpful on my journey and with fulfilling my purpose to help educate everybody about mindset work and how they can improve and empower themselves to improve their own lives. So please subscribe. It means so much to me. So let's talk about days when you don't feel well, and I'm specifically talking about physically not feeling well. So you have a cold, or maybe you have the stomach flu, just anything that makes you not feel well in your body is what we are talking about today. So I've personally found in my experience that when I don't feel well in my body, when I am feeling sick or just feeling ill of any kind, it's actually the time where it is the most important to realize that those negative feelings in your body can have an effect on your mindset and your thoughts as well. Because personally, when I don't feel well in my body, I am more prone to thinking negatively as a result of that. So when you're feeling unwell, you can find yourself falling into negative thought patterns on top of feeling physically unwell. So that's what I wanted to dive into a little deeper today, is how to actually navigate through the physical and psychological feelings that come with not feeling well. And in general, I live my life trying to be the healthiest person I can be, and I really understand that health is not just about your physical body, it's about your mindset as well. There is a huge connection between your mind and your body, so it's important that if you're really serious about being healthy and about living the best way that you can live, then you really have to consider that the mindset and the body are interconnected, and it's important to show attention to both of those areas. So personally, when I'm not feeling well physically, I operate pretty differently than I normally would on a regular day, at least for the first couple days. And part of operating differently, the first step of that is always to make time to rest. A lot of us are very conditioned, especially with the society that we live in, that there's not enough time for rest, that we always have to push ourselves and, just pop a pill and don't worry and you'll feel better a little bit later, and just keep pushing, keep going to work, keep pushing yourself to do more, even when your body is not feeling well. And that mindset and that mentality is so toxic for us. We need to realize that when our body is not feeling well, when we are feeling sick, that is your body sending you a message to slow down and to rest and to pay attention. And a lot of the times this happens as a result of ignoring our needs for too long. Have you ever noticed that you can go through a period in your life where there's a period of really high stress? Maybe you're planning an event like a wedding, or maybe you're studying for a really important exam. And do you ever notice that after that big event happens, you actually fall ill? This happens as a result of not taking care of yourself for however that extended amount of time was. And an example I could share with you is that when I was planning my wedding, about 6 months out from the wedding day, I remember just being sick pretty much all the time. All of the chronic physical illnesses and the chronic anxiety that I used to experience were just really heightened, and it was just layering on all of this added stress on top of it from planning a wedding. It's just a really stressful thing. You're trying to, plan all these vendors and get all of these things to be perfect for this one day of your life. And I remember going through those 6 months of really high stress and anxiety, and then finally having the wedding. And the wedding day itself was perfect. It was the most magical day ever. I loved it so much. But the day after the wedding, when we went on our honeymoon, we were about 2 days into our honeymoon, and I actually ended up getting a cold. And this was the middle of August. Usually people don't get colds in August, right? But this was because my body was so broken down from this extended period of stress and anxiety and just all this overwhelm that when I finally took the time to relax and slow down, my body just kind of gave up the fight and said, okay, now I'm going to be sick because you have been neglecting taking care of me. And I want to know if you can relate to this. Have you ever had an experience like that where you've just gone through a high stress period and then all of a sudden you get sick? Because it's something that's super common, and I would love to know if it's something that you've experienced as well. And that's just another sign that, you haven't been taking care of yourself, and how important it is to make sure that you're fitting in self-care and, positive activities into your life on the daily, on the weekly basis, so that you're not falling ill from lack of self-care for you and your body. I cannot overstate the importance of rest and just allowing your body to heal itself. And what it needs to heal itself is time and relaxation. We live in a society where we are so conditioned to just keep going and pushing through our feelings and just, getting the work done, doing all the things. And when you do that, you are actually doing a disservice to your own self, to your own body, because what you really need is rest in order to heal. So when you are not feeling well, make sure that you're taking that time to just rest and to just let your body do the job that it knows how to do, which is get you to feeling better sooner. The second thing I want to touch on is to really reflect on how you're thinking and what you've been thinking about. Because like I mentioned earlier in the video, our mind and our body are so connected. And sometimes if we get into a chronically negative state of thinking and we're worrying about all of these things, we have negative thoughts, we're focusing on anger, any sort of negative energy and vibration and feeling, that can manifest into feeling physically unwell as well. So really check in with your thoughts. What are the things you have been thinking about? Is there anything that maybe you've been putting on the back burner that you should really be dealing with that you're just saying you don't have enough time for? Maybe you're having a conflict with somebody that really needs to be resolved and you're just pushing it aside. Sometimes if we ignore those things that are going on in our heads, they can actually manifest into physical illness. So really take time to consider what you've been thinking about and how those things may have affected the way that you're physically feeling now, and kind of clean up that energy, clean up that thought in your head, clean up those thought processes that may have led to you feeling physically unwell. If you take some time to do a little reflection on what may have caused these physical symptoms and this feeling of being ill, a lot of the times it has to do with the fact that you maybe haven't been taking care of yourself. So after you've taken the time to rest, after you've taken the time to do the self-reflection on how you're feeling, what may have caused these symptoms, and accepting the fact that you are sick right now, you're not feeling well, the next step is to move out of this feeling. Start navigating through this negative feeling and feeling of illness so that you can get back to feeling better sooner. So I truly believe that even though sometimes getting sick isn't always necessarily our doing, it might just be something that happens, you get exposed to a virus, you get sick, sometimes that kind of thing happens. But what you need to do is realize that it is only your responsibility to navigate out of that negative feeling. You need to realize that this sickness has to end, and it's going to end by you taking responsibility for how you're feeling and doing the work to navigate out of that negative feeling. Obviously, something like a cold has a life cycle, and I do find that when I'm sick, I do start feeling better faster when I start realizing that when I start feeling a little bit better, it's my responsibility to take that all the way to the end. It's my responsibility to start doing the things that help give me life and give me energy back so that I can feel better sooner. And This tip is so important because I never used to know this before I did personal development and mindset work. I never knew about this kind of third step of really navigating out of the negative feelings and the sick feelings. So I would just stay sick for weeks sometimes. Like, I was that person that because I lived such a stressful, anxiety-filled life, that I would get a cold and I wouldn't get better for 2.5 to 3 weeks. That was just how I always was when I got sick. It was so bad. And now that I've done mindset work and personal development and I understand the relationship I have with my body and how my mind is connected to my body, I understand that I have the power to navigate out of that sickness and that negative feeling faster than if I were to just, be victim to it and just say that there's nothing I could do to feel better and, nothing's going to get better any faster. I'm just stuck in this negative feeling. There's nothing I could do to get out of it. When in fact, there is. So things that I find helpful is to start doing the things again that you love to do, that bring you joy, that make you feel better when you're not sick. Start doing those things when you are sick and start getting back to calibrating to that place of positivity and feeling good. So for me, it's getting outside, getting the sunshine on my face, getting the wind blowing at me, going on a walk, being in nature, listening to an inspiring podcast, doing the things that I would normally be doing in my regular routine when I am feeling good and healthy, and start doing those things when I'm still not feeling my best, because making myself do those things that make me feel better are going to get me back to feeling better faster. And remember to tap into your own guidance system. If you start doing things too quickly, your body's going to give you a sign that it's not ready to start doing that yet. For example, sometimes when people get sick, they're so ready to just start up their workout routine, a few days in. And if you start feeling ill again, then that's your body sending you a sign that you're not ready to start going back to that regular activity yet. So use your guidance system and just start slowly layering in the things that you normally do. And as long as it still feels good, as long as it still feels energy giving and it feels good for you, then keep adding on those things until you get to the point where you're just feeling better altogether. And the last important thought I wanted to leave you with when it comes to feeling ill and just not feeling good is that every negative feeling has a purpose. And if you can shift your mindset to realize that every time you feel ill or every time you have a negative feeling or thought, that there is a purpose behind it, and it's your job to really decode what that purpose is. And when it comes to feeling physically ill, figure out what it is that caused that. Maybe you've been neglecting your self-care and your body just got fed up, so it got your attention by making you feel sick. Or maybe there's something you've been avoiding in your life. Maybe there's something that you need to slow down for, and your body just found a way to slow you down so that you would listen and you would interpret the message. If you can shift your mindset to realizing that negative feelings can be positive for us, that we can extract something positive out of a negative feeling, then that's just a much more empowering way to live, and it will really help you shift your mindset around how you feel when you do fall ill, when you're not feeling well, and knowing that there could be positive purpose behind that, and just doing the work and whatever you can to really decode whatever that message is, so that the next time you fall ill, you will know why, and you'll be able to do what your body needs and what your mind needs in order to get to feeling better faster and getting back to feeling good again. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope there were things in here that you learned that you maybe didn't know before. And if you have, I would love you to leave a comment below and share with me what your biggest takeaways with this video were. I would love to have a conversation with you. And if you don't already, please subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram, where I show up daily sharing mindset and anxiety relief resources and tools. So you want to follow me on Instagram as well so you don't miss out. And remember, on this channel, I upload a new video every week, so make sure that you are subscribed so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will catch you next time. Bye.